All right, so here's our Sunday pre-cap. I'm going to start off with GILD. This stock, we traded it for weeks. Been a great winner up and down. I'm looking at this stock for more of a long-term leap. Looking for a leap. I have a leap in mind for this stock, for this trade, and I think it's going to benefit all of us in the long ride, on the long side. And I'm talking about 2021, not even 2020. I actually have one for 2020, which would be 6 months out, and the other one would be next year, January. I feel like there's going to be a lot of things happening with GILD, and it's already started this month. That move, this action that happened Friday was very, very interesting. I don't know if part of that action was because of me towards the end, because I did put in a big order at the end of the day to cause that spike, because after it spiked up, then it dropped down 15 cents from the high, which was 77. Unless there was a wall there, I didn't see if what the order was there. So looking at this has been in a crazy, 2016 to 2020, 4 years. Some people saying 5 years. I feel like we're going to get that big move, and it's going to start this year where we're going to head above to 76.81. I'm targeting all-time highs, honestly, by 2023, maybe before that. Actually, no, possibly 2022. I can see a nice cup forming at 102. For this week, we have the 77.50 calls, which is basically about less than $1 off. I definitely want to see a pullback on this week, come opening on Monday. Let me get rid of this. Yeah, I've done a lot of things on this chart. I'll definitely share it so you guys can get an idea. Get the daily going up here. It's been in a nice base. Like, it's been holding very well and pretty strong. We just got above the double bar. That was very important. That 65.26 hold was super important. I want to see us get at least above 68.30 this week and touch at least 70.18. I'm anticipating a 2 to 4 point move this week, all because of that volume that happened Friday. Also, I'm not sure if the news is this week or the following week, but it's going to be before the year's over. Why I say that, they have some data that they have to present that needs to come out. And we're also in an ascending triangle as well. So targeting 68.30 this week upside. I want to see us pull back down to 66.42, bounce off of there, which is also the 14 SMA on the daily. We get that, we're definitely getting that move back to 68.30. This is going to be possibly our 2020 play of next year. We're gonna be playing this stock every single month. Up, down, up, down. We're gonna learn it. Shak, crazy move, but I did not like the action Friday. I didn't like how it gave all of that back. I mean, it's only down $1 from the highs. I think it actually hit 63, if I'm correct. Got close. Nope, 62.65. And it held at 61.47. So what I want to see come tomorrow or this week, I want to see a pullback to that 14 and 30 SMA. One more bounce. Close above 61.47. And then we're going to take the 66 calls about 2 to 3 weeks out. If we can get a test of the 14 and 30 SMA. If we get a test of the 14 and 30 SMA one more time, definitely want to take the 60. We're going to actually take the 60. We're going to take the 64s, 65s, and 67s. 67 would possibly be 6 weeks out. 65s would be possibly 3 weeks out. 64s would definitely be about 2 weeks out. That would be definitely a no-brainer. Same thing like I told you guys about buying the week high or the week low. If you're going short, targeting the week low, using the low, a point above the low, and if you're targeting to go long, using a point below the high as your target. Just in case it even does hit that high, you're getting a nice premium boost from there. So that's Shak. I like how Shak is developing. My thoughts for this one was they're going to make a right shoulder. They already have the head in place. Left shoulder was 11.18 that week. And then now we're going to just bounce back off, possibly off the 14 SMA. But that 61.47 is very important, very important. I'm gonna go over McDonald's as well. McDonald's has been interesting. Been watching it. It's in an ascending triangle. It pays nicely when it wants to. I want to see one more test of the 14 SMA. They're definitely gonna add to our longs of the January 3rd's 200s, 202.50s. So maybe I want to see possibly by Tuesday get to that 195.64, then take weekly 197.50 calls, and then also add to the 200 calls for next week. But I like when it breaks above the 1430 SMA, then bounces off of it and finds a support, and it acts as a support and creates basically an ascending triangle. Any move above 198.49 is what we need. When that happens, then we take off, and we're targeting 205.40, which is basically where the gap started from the gap down. I'm gonna go over NOC as well. NOC is ready. I think Friday was it. Weekly got me. Weekly has me. I've been doing that same strategy that I just showed you guys in the previous video. I buy, like, this was a triple bottom. I mean, you can't really categorize it like that, but it's close enough to me. So I'm going to use that. We got 3 wicks forming, lower wicks, nice hammers. That close basically was above the close of the previous 2 weeks. So down here, your risk, I'm going to show you right now. This is what I did. When price was here, this was a risky trade. So if this didn't hold or bounce, it had more downside. But the fact it held here, my target for this one was to play a week out the close of the past 2 weeks, wherever the price closed it, because the price is always going to come back to that. It closed there twice in 2 weeks. So the close there was 344.76. So when price last week, price came down to 338. The smartest thing to buy was actually the 342.50s and the 345 calls at the low of the week. And you can even take the 345 for next week, which is this week coming up. You could have took the 347.50s and the 350s for January 3rd. And then for January 10th, you could have took the 360s, depending on how you wanted to do it. But based off how I tell you guys to use your ranges for the week. The range was 9 points last week. Previous week before that was 11. Previous before that was 14. When the ranges are getting smaller, there's going to be a break, either the upside or the downside. And we're looking at a target of 354.31 for this week. And I need to close above 348.98. That's what we're all waiting for. That 348.98 for NOC. Get back above here. We're back to 378. New all-time high. I'm still targeting that 400. Next year is going to be crazy. 473. I'm going to look at the leaps for that. This definitely has leaps in it. You clean that up. Another one, actually, this is actually kind of new. PSA, always had a chart on this one. I was talking to D about it too. They have some mispriced options. They have mispriced options, and I definitely want to get in by Monday, by tomorrow. I want to pull back to 210.19 though. I want, as long as the options are still mispriced, that's all I care about. But I would definitely like to get into these this week. Nice asymmetrical triangle too. That's a big triangle actually. I see this breaking up to the upside, possibly hitting this year's high, end of year for next year. I'm liking the 220 to 230s for a month out. I'm not getting no data on I think it's the February's. January, no, it's the Marches that wasn't showing. They're not showing anything, no data on, oh wait. No, they're not. Yep. Oh, the March is actually showing now. So the 230s or the 240s for March would actually be smart. January 220s are 75. They're supposed to be $1.50. So keep that in mind. I really like that PSA trade. We got BYND. This one's been tricky, but the wicks is forming on the weekly. I'm definitely liking a lot. Slight double bottom too at that. Get rid of this. Move, perfect. Remember what I told you guys about Shaq? You buying so here looked like it bottomed on BYND, which was the third candle after that big red candle here. So you're gonna basically, now we found that it bottomed somewhere around here. So similar to like I told you guys about Shaq. Let me show you. So here it retested. You're going to basically buy, you can use this one. You can actually use all of these weeks. You got to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say the high here was the double bar. So the double bar being 82.58. So down here, you would buy 2 to 3 weeks out of the 82.58. So last week, you'll buy January 3rd, 82 calls. And January the 10th, 84.65 calls, which would be the double bar, which would be the double top. So that's how we would play that. But this week we did really, really good with BYND. Pepsi is the next thing. All-time highs is definitely in view. I like it. I mean, we always do very well with Pepsi. Pepsi is one of my favorites. Let me clear this up. It's very strong. Jesus Christmas. Pepsi, that's 2 weeks, though that's 3 weeks fighting at 137.42 and then closed above it 2 weeks in a row, targeting 139 this week. We got the 138s that expire this week. And those are right there in the money. Sorry, cracked my neck. Looking for a nice all-time high going into next year is going to be very interesting. I want to see how this does. Possibly a peak at 145.32, pull back to 139, and possibly just channel out for the year, coming down to like 137.42, 135, and then bounce off into the end of the year at like 175, 145. Pepsi's good. We're basically holding that in profit. I don't know if I've had Netties on the list, but Netties I've been watching every single week. After that big move, it had a couple of weeks, nice move up. It had to pull back. I like where it's at right now. I still would like it to back test the 14 SMA on the weekly, but that inside candle, I'm bullish. But let's see how that works out though, because I see a similar setup with this same inside candle, but 2 red candles. I'm not a fan of because that shows more downside. So we'll possibly get that downside to the 14 SMA. So it might be a short candidate. I give you guys a lot of names to study. Like, oh man, RTN. That one looks beautiful as well too. And Amazon will do that next as well. Here we go. RTN looking very clean, nice weekly. I posted this one on Twitter. Weekly flag. That's flag's been flagging for I have no idea how long. How many weeks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. What's that? 2 months? It's been in this range. It needs to blow the top off of this level here that I have marked out. It has to close above it. It's about 2.8. Let me actually just go like this. The closing of this candle was 2.15. Oh nope, sorry, 2.18.88. A confirmed break, targeting 222, and we're targeting that all-time high-ish around 229.65. High of this red candle here is 229.75. Next year's target, 236 upon breakout. So what I would do is buy actually 6 weeks out for that one. Maybe if the actually smart thing would be if this took 8 weeks to form this flag. If you bought out 8 weeks at this gray bar, you are very likely to hit it. So 8 weeks would be 1, 2, 3, excluding this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it goes into February. It's gonna have to go into February. 236. The 230s are pretty cheap. 240s also. So to buy time with that on a successful breakout, and it has nice big ranges when it moves too on weekly. Next up, we have Amazon. This one's been playing with everybody's feelings. But it's been a good one to scalp, too. I mean, if you have like 5 contracts, you could have sold them for 50%, 20%, 30%, rebought them lower, and then sell them at 100%, then rebought them again. It's been a tricky one. The issue here with Amazon is the 14 and 30. That's all it is. Clean that up. That's what we're trading between, 14 and 30. The breakout is above the 30 SMA, which gets us to 1839. Once you break that 1839, we're going to be back at 1966 to 2024, which we'll possibly see in March, putting on next ER. We're going to see a nice retest of that 2024.93. That's where Amazon's going to get very aggressive. But right now, still in that ascending triangle, and if you want to call it a cup and handle or falling wedge, asymmetrical. But this is what I got for Amazon going into next year. So this purple box basically is where after it breaks out above 1902, go tests the red bar. It's going to rebound back up to 1902, and that's when it's going to just take off, possibly into end of the year. But a lot of these charts take a long time to develop a pattern. It can take months, it can take weeks, it can take years, it can take days. Everything is all about timing. But if we do gap up in the morning, whatever is up, take profit. That's the first thing on a Monday to do. Ride the run up, cash out, rebuy. So if you want to hold overnight into next week and you bought time and you get a gap up, Monday, sell it and then get back in.